Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Wolfe. I'm the Director of Education for IAVM. Thank you so very much for our Sponsor Solutions Showcase. Very happy to see you. So we have a great interview today. We have one of our allied members with us who's going to share all the value he can provide to your venue. But before we get into that, I just would like to introduce everyone. Of course, Peter Secord, you're the president of RedZone Group Purchasing. Thank you so very much for coming on today. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, Greg.
Absolutely. And of course, our other guest is John Siehl, CVE, Vice President of Risk Management at VenuWorks. John, how are you?
I'm really good today. Thank you, Greg.
Well, happy to be both. I thought, Peter, we could just start out. Maybe could you just tell us about what your tell us a little about your company, what you all do, and how you can benefit our members.
Right. So we are one of the most unique allied members because we actually don't have anything to sell, and we don't even have anything to charge anybody for. We are in the business of helping venues save money on the products and services they need to operate their buildings. Okay, so we do that by helping them connect their vendor accounts with national contract pricing. And as you might surmise, when you engage a national contract, you're going to get greater volume discounts. And our members are able to access those volume discounts immediately once they join the program. And the program is free to join, and there's no requirement to ever even use the program. So it really just gives members a license to shop.
And I remember we supposed first started speaking years ago about your company. And I was just it was one of those things where I had so many questions. So maybe could you, you know, put yourself one of our members. What are some not objections, but what are some questions that always pops in their head about? Oh, how would this work exactly for me? Could you
Right.
go over that a little bit?
Well, yeah. So one of the most common objections or thoughts that enter people's minds when they first hear about our program is, what's the catch? Sounds
Right.
too good to be true. And usually when something sounds too good to be true, it is. But in this particular case, there's really no catch. Okay. So there's no fee. We're never going to charge a member to be a member, and there's no requirement to use the program. And we're actually just piggybacking on the sort of procurement model that every hospital in the country uses. Okay. There is not a hospital in any part of the country that's not a member of an identical national group purchasing program such as ours. Okay. So we're just using that. We're piggybacking on what's been commonplace in healthcare for about 30 years. And, a lot of our contracts were underwritten on behalf of about 4,500 hospitals. So there's no catch. I understand it sounds too good to be true, but this is like as close to a no-brainer as I've ever witnessed in my business career.
Those are that's nice to you don't see those many often. So once someone starts, signs up, how do they start realizing those cost savings?
Right. So when a member decides to sign up, we give them a member number about 3 or 4 business days later, and then typically we get together with somebody who's like an executive or somebody who's director of operations, and we sort of just go over the laundry list of areas that they spend money on to operate their building. Okay, whether it be elevator maintenance, food, electricity or natural gas, furniture, fixtures, equipment, HVAC, flooring, cleaning equipment. So we've got national contracts that we can help them hook up with for just about everything they spend money on, short of let's say basketball uniforms or baseball bats. Okay, but we've got uniforms for the staff. We've got a great contract with Centos that helps them save money on, usher uniforms or, everything else that Centos provides. Chef Works does a lot of business with culinary across the country. And so, our program resonates the most with people that are within the organization that care genuinely about saving money. And the fact is that not everybody that's cutting purchase orders actually cares about spending money. One of the things that I think people subconsciously think of when they first hear about our program is, this sounds like this is going to take more time of ours, and we're already stretched really thin. Well, the fact is that we don't sell anything. So it's just business as usual. I mean, we could take someone's Grainger account and we could link it to the national contract, and that professional could come back to work the next day and log on to the Grainger account with the same username, same account number, same password, and presto, they're seeing better pricing. Okay. They buy something from Grainger, they pay Grainger, but they're getting a better price.
Oh, well, that's a very good segue, actually, to go to John. John, could you tell us, about VenuWorks' experience with working with RedZone?
Sure, Greg, thanks. Our experience is that we had some naysayers at the outset. We are working in about 20 different markets across the U.S., and our folks typically think they're a little bit, they're pushed and they don't want to do any extra work. But as Peter just said, there's no extra work once you're signed up and you get your number in with the vendors, and you just go ahead with business as usual, and you pick up the additional discounts the RedZone offers. And as Peter already mentioned, some big ones that we use are Home Depot, Grainger. We've done a lot with National Business Furniture, the Tenant Company. We also have a lot of our accounts that delve into the food and beverage end, specifically in food and beverage, and we've been able to see a savings of up to 12% in some of those accounts. So with virtually no additional effort, our accounts are saving money over what they have been able to negotiate on their own. And ultimately that falls down to our client. Clients are very happy because the cost of doing business is lower.
And I'm very curious to hear from both of you when it comes to this area. Peter, maybe you could start us off. With the COVID pandemic, we've heard a lot of supply chains have been affected across sectors. Yes, me. I mean, with the short, I would think this would be an excellent way of still saving money too, even with increased demand.
Well, yeah, I mean, saving money is an immediate, it goes to the bottom line immediately. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're not able to really change the worldwide supply chain issues that are going on right now. However, when a organization becomes a member of our group purchasing program, they become a national account for that vendor. And national accounts for vendors are the most prized accounts. So we have seen that our members, they might get, the 10 cases of French fries that they ordered, whereas a non-national account customer, let's say with US Foods or Cisco, they may not get that order. Okay. So, we can't work magic, but I think that a member's account status can sort of break the tie, if you will.
And John, have you seen, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I would agree with that. It really puts you in line in a better spot. And as we all know, that buying power really increases your ability to latch on to what you're looking for. So if you're at the top of the line or you're at the top end of the purchasing system, you really have the advantage over a whole lot of other people.
Well, I'm sure folks are eager after watching this to speak to you, obviously, Peter. But before we do go to live, any further thoughts from you, Peter?
Well, one other question that oftentimes comes up that what I haven't broached is what happens if we currently have a sponsorship deal with a vendor, okay, that's in place. Let's take for example, like the Detroit Red Wings. Okay, they might have a sponsorship deal with Orkin Pest Control. Okay, well, in that particular case, Orkin typically will not allow a member to double dip. Okay, they won't let that member access our national contract pricing and pay the fees to be a sponsor. Okay, and in that particular case, and it does happen, in that particular case, most times we just have to wait for that sponsorship deal to run its course before the venue can access the national contract pricing, in this case with Orkin. Okay. Some vendors, they'll let you sort of do it both. They'll let you get the national contract pricing and they're willing to entertain, a sponsorship deal. But, that's kind of a case by case, situation.
Well, that's a very good insight. John, any other final thoughts?
Yeah, we really have had some skeptics out there and amongst our ranks and down into our operations departments. But as we convince people to just give it a try, we found that it's been very successful and people are very happy and they find out that it's honestly, it's no real extra work. It's just doing business as usual. And I think that's one of the key selling points that we initially had to overcome as we introduced this to our accounts nationwide.
Excellent. Okay, Peter, I guess last word to go to you before we go live.
Just appreciate this opportunity to present to the IAVM community, Greg, and thank you for your time, John. Thanks for carving out a little time at the last minute.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon.